just to give you an example, we had our first convention as FirstStormManga was at San Japan. We had our table, we're giving out our mini comics. This is a little comic we did for the con themselves with their mascot characters, a little cutesy story that I wrote and the artist drew. And so, we're there and our guys are talking to, musicians and other artists and writers and all this fun stuff. And one of our guys, I can't say the musician's name because I forgot it. And he's going to be commissioned to do some album art for a musician that was at the con, which is like, wow, sure he might not be it's one of those things where you never know. It's just I'm not sure how well known the musician is, but if he breaks it, if his CD becomes popular, then all of a sudden, this artist that did the album art, everybody's going to see it. It's going to be everywhere.
I think it's under, what it's called, the NDA, non-disclosure.
Non-disclosure agreement, right? So we can't.
It's in the works, but because we can't talk.
It's not final yet. They're kind of negotiating.
But we can't drop any names.
Yeah, we can tell you, that it's an artist. It's an artist. It's a musician. But we can't tell you which one. Like I said, I forgot the name anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But yeah, that's the big message. And I would say, don't worry about what's popular because you never know.
Sometimes
you don't know. Sometimes, sure.
Sometimes what's really stood out for me at Holm when I was standing in front of his desk, and I said to him, why did you come to me? Why did you pick me? And he said, out of all the other artists we've seen that have submitted stuff to us, yours stood out. We could put everyone's stuff out there, and we could always tell what you've done. And it's just that whole standing out. So don't worry about, oh, my stuff has to look like the anime, or oh, my stuff has to look like Jim Lee, or whatever it is. Don't worry about what you have to. Just do what it is that you do, because your style will always come through. And if you just put some effort into it, just make it with the formal education, just do it right. Don't worry about, because what I hear people complain about is, oh, I'm not going to bother to learn this technique because it ruins my style. Okay, no technique will ever cripple your style. Your style will always come through. It's just a technique, is just a method, it's just a path, a better way of helping you.
Like your basics.
Yeah.
It's like your basics. It's like when you're writing, you have to do you have to outline, and then do this and add more detail, and a sentence has to have, subject, verb. There's certain structures that you have to follow regardless. And if you don't, people are gonna know. You can say, oh, well, your proportions are wrong, or hey, that's a run-on sentence. It's gonna stick out, and you really don't want to stick out in that way.
You don't build a house with the roof first. Okay, Dora.
Sorry. Mine, I basically started more in college. That was basically my beginning of like everyone else, you love art since you actually know what art is. But I was going more into paintings for other people, commissions, taking art classes, getting into the art shows. And I'm going more towards the anime manga side. This is my second year in the Artist Alley. I basically am well known for online comics. Not very popular. There's I have quite a few. The more popular ones are the subject I can't talk about. But I have a lot of online stuff. Basically, I'm going to be running an art show next year for RealmsCon, and it's mainly you start small. Yeah. I basically got some published stuff with a college magazine. That's basically one of the good ways to start is if you're in college or in high school. I was an editor. I was a chief editor and I was a co-editor, or whatever you name them, for 2 years, two or 3 years when I was in college. It was called Writer's Block. That was the name of the magazine. Got a few couple self-published artwork, comics, and stuff like that. I still haven't hit that big break.
Yeah, wait for that big break.
But I have my name out there. I have my website. I do online commissions and all that. And people know, people will come up to you and ask you. So your best thing is just draw. Just draw and people will come to you. Put it out there, dig in art, cheesy art, every art community you can use to recommend it. Join clubs, FirstStormManga.
And also if you're in college, if I can interrupt for a moment, the school newspaper. They're always looking for, comics, art, even poems. I got a poem published in the Texas A&M University Corpus Christi school newspaper while I was attending quite a few years ago. So that's another opportunity for people to to see your stuff.
It's actually cool that you mentioned that because I was the web editor for our school newspaper. That means I was one of those crazy people who was like, no, that's not good, cut it. No, try to change that. Yeah, people hated me.
You were
However,
Simon.
Yeah, I was Simon. Yeah, but oh man, we were always in need of political cartoonists, art, graphic designers, like even just some layout artists. That was just outside of just what needs to go into the website being built. We needed everybody that we could. It's our college newspaper though actually also had a hand with the city newspaper, so that ended up it was massive exposure for everybody who worked on it, and it was actually a great way to get around.
Yeah, and if you're looking,
that's how we actually met Carlos, and I can't remember his last name, but he's the guy who writes, draws everything. Baldo, the comic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he's actually got a cartoon getting ready to come out. So
really?
Yeah.
From that comic or something
yes.
different?
Yeah. Baldo's getting turned into a cartoon.
Oh,
so
awesome.
it's great. And I'm allowed to talk about that now because the pilot's out. So,
But yeah. And if you're looking to go the more professional route, not necessarily the whole going out on your own thing, stuff like school newspaper, school website, it looks good on a resume. If you're gonna go apply at I don't know what you call it, I guess professional artist type position at a big company or even a small company, you'll say you'll be like, yeah, I got my degree, but I got this, but I also I actually got some experience. I worked at the school newspaper. I did this for the school website.
Anything you have a chance to take a leadership role in too is a big deal. Like getting on the newspaper, if you can get out there as a layout artist, you actually are bossing other people around. Like you get the boss around the advertising group, and one of the reasons that's important is because, even though companies will hire lots and lots of illustrators, one of the things that they're almost always looking for is art directors. People to sit there and collect the artwork, work with the artists to make sure that it matches the product, and they will hire a art director for each product. EA is like, I don't even remember what EA stands for, but EA Sports, they're, yeah, thank you, they're always looking for people to work on the Madden project because the people on the Madden project get mad quick. And so it's an easy in. And I'm like, I don't know anything about football, but I'm not doing that.
Does that put you under the Madden curse?
Yes, it does.
So does anyone
it affects every aspect of each of those games.
Anyone have any questions? Come on, hurry up before we single you out.
And he'll do it.
Or hey, how about the other way around? You guys are artists too. I'm sure you have stories. They don't even have to be like the biggest of stories. But for example, like one of my really random small stories is I drew first. I should have brought that one in, but the first issue of this, which is out at the table, I was accused of being a Satan worshiper over. I'm singled out by an interesting group of people.
All the red and
Yeah, don't worry about being accused of being a furry.
I'm thinking that too, but I don't care. So that's my big thing. Is like whatever. Yeah.
I've got like kind of two questions.
Sure.
One, I have a story that I'm writing and attempting to have someone help me animate it. It's called Why Me? It's pretty much about a guy and his bipolar girlfriend going through their lives and trials. But I'm trying to find out how to get that animated.
First word, money. Because animators, it's slave labor. No matter where you are in the world.
Your best bet might be to find somebody in school that needs a topic for a project, maybe.
Yeah, that would. Although they still have their schoolwork to do too. Animation takes a ridiculously long amount of time to do.